Well, one of the best classes that I ever took in seminary was a class called Alcoholism, Addiction, and the Church. And I took this class when I was actually in New York City, where I was finishing up my degree from Atlanta. Long story, I'll tell you later. But I was in New York, and I was taking this class, and one of the things that we had to do was go around to all sorts of AA meetings all around the city of New York, which was just eye-opening on so many levels. So much diversity of meetings there. And it was a wonderful experience. And our teacher told us, now, you're supposed to go to open meetings and whatnot, but don't make a big deal of like, oh, I'm not an alcoholic. You know, you just want to go, don't lie, but just go and sit and let people make whatever assumptions they want to make about you and just be part of the experience. And so I had this opportunity to go to all of these different AA meetings and have this really beautiful experience. And for most people I interacted with, for them to just assume that I was also an alcoholic. And one of the interactions I had there was so profound. I remember it well. We were at this meeting in the Upper West Side of New York, and it was a meeting of all ages. And I came in and I sat there, and I have a feeling that, maybe just how I was dressed or whatnot, I came across as younger than most people at that particular meeting, and also, probably looked like a more functional alcoholic on the alcoholic spectrum. But this older woman, she had to be in her 60s, really had like a heart for me. And she came up to me after the meeting, and she just looked me in the eye and said these words to me that I will never forget. She said, "Honey, your life doesn't have to get so bad for you to hit your rock bottom." She said, "Your rock bottom is whenever you decide that you've had enough and that you are ready to change your life. It doesn't have to get as bad as somebody else's rock bottom. You choose what's your rock bottom." And I said, thank you. And I went about my way, but that hit me and it stayed with me forever because I'd never heard somebody articulate so clearly the truth that life-changing moments are only life-changing if you choose to be changed. Life-changing moments are only life-changing if you choose to be changed. And they can look like different things for different people. Now, our scripture story today is the story of a life-changing moment. Jesus brings his 3 closest disciples up onto a mountaintop, and they have this amazing experience there. Jesus is transformed. Moses and Elijah show up, and he is talking to them. He is shining like the sun. This is a life-changing moment for the 3 disciples who have never seen anything like this before. But Peter, I love Peter. He's so honest and so human. He sort of resists being changed by this moment. He gets busy, and he starts externalizing what's happened. He jumps into this moment that should be filling everybody with awe, should be going inside of them, changing what's going on, and he just starts saying, oh, let's like maybe build some shrines up here. Let's make some tents. Let's stay here forever. Let's get busy. Let's start doing things up here to just sort of make sense of this moment. And I have a heart for Peter. I get what was going on. Anytime that we're overwhelmed by life, sometimes we just can't handle it. We start moving about this world in a busy kind of way, rather than being changed by the awesomeness of what we're being invited to be changed by. But what's amazing about this story is that God jumps into it, comes literally like a voice in the thundercloud, and stops Peter in his tracks. He says, listen. And Peter goes silent. All the busyness stops. And Peter allows that moment to start working on him on the inside. All of us have gone through life-changing moments because all of us have lived through all kinds of experiences that if we allow ourselves to be changed by them, if we're lucky or wise enough to be changed by them, or for the grace of God, God gives us no choice, we are able to use those moments to live a different way. Just like Peter, and the 3 disciples who went down from the mountain and took what they had seen with them, not by creating something new in the world, but by being changed in here. All of us have an opportunity to do that. Maybe you've hit a rock bottom moment in your life in one way, shape, or form or another. Maybe you've decided this is it. This will be a moment that changes me. I'm not going lower than this. That's a moment where you've chosen to be changed. Or maybe you've had a mountaintop experience. You've looked out at the world and it has brought tears to your eyes by just how beautiful it is, and you can't ever forget it. And you say, this is a life-changing experience for me. I choose to be changed by this. I'll never see the world the same way again. Or maybe you've experienced a moment of profound grace. You've done some things in life. Who hasn't? But forgiveness has shown up for you in abundance, and you found a new life, a new way forward, forgiveness in the eyes of your friends or your family, and you live with a sense of profound gratitude for that. Let that be a life-changing experience. Or perhaps you've gone through tremendous hardship, something you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, and you've chosen to be changed by that. You've altered the DNA of your heart. You've decided, I'm going to live a life of loving kindness. I'm going to do things differently. I've seen how bad that life can get, and this future is bright, and I will never, ever see it as anything but bright. You've chosen to be changed in that experience. One of my friends, I want to share with you his story today, has done this more profoundly than I think anyone else I know. And I want to tell you about him today. His name is Jared, and I went to college with him at the University of Chicago nearly 20 years ago. Boy, time goes by fast. Jared is a science writer, and for 17 years, he has worked as a science writer at the Argonne National Laboratory in Chicago. And his job is to write about everything that they do there, to publish stories and articles and magazines and whatnot, to let folks like you and me be aware of all of the groundbreaking science that they do there at Argonne. And so his life had just been going along as they do, as our lives do. And recently he met the love of his life, a wonderful woman, and they got married last year. And they were looking forward to all kinds of just good life together. Jared is someone who I've always known to be incredibly intelligent, incredibly kind, and just a really thoughtful human being. But last year, in March, there was discovery with his doctors that he had all kinds of lesions in his brain, and they weren't going away. And they were doing scan after scan and trying to figure out what it was, and they diagnosed him with glioma, which I just heard people sigh in the room. If you know what glioma is, it is an incredibly deadly form of cancer. And he was told that he probably had just a few months to live. Now, this was a young man, 39 years old, great career, wonderful new wife, and suddenly he's told that he only has a few months to live, that he is dying. And he was incredibly afraid, as you would be, but he was also instantly overcome with just this amazing sense of love and support from his wife and his friends and his family, and he felt the love just washing over him. And he went through that for 2 days until the hospital called him back and said, whoops, we misdiagnosed you. Actually, that glioma that you thought you had is actually lymphoma. Now, it's not great, but it's a heck of a lot better than glioma. And they said, we're going to set you up on chemotherapy. We're going to get you some treatment. You've got a fighting chance at this. Now, Jared just went 2 days thinking that he is about to die, and now he has been given this hope. And again, his spirit is just responding to this in just awesome ways. He is full of just awe at the love that he sees in his life, at the beauty that he sees in the world, at the hope that he has that's now filling his heart. And so for the next few months, he goes through chemotherapy treatments. And by the grace of God and the blessings of modern medicine, those chemotherapy treatments turn out to be incredibly effective. But while he is being healed by chemotherapy, God is working in his heart. His spirit is being transformed. His life is being altered. Now, Jared is still the same kind, thoughtful, very intelligent man that he has always been. His personality hasn't changed, but his outlook on life could not be more different than it had been. And so as he goes through this chemotherapy treatment, he is being transformed. And then just a few months ago on New Year's Eve, he goes in for another scan, a second MRI. And they discover that when he once had 30, 50, 70, 100 lesions on his brain, now he has 0. And he's told that his cancer is in remission. Now, some people might say, all right, back on track. But Jared has been transformed in his spirit. He has chosen to be changed, and he has changed in a way that he can't look back. Now, he does have more chemotherapy ahead of him right now. This spring, he's going to do 3 more rounds of chemo, and he's also going to do a stem cell treatment. So if you're the praying type, please keep Jared in your prayers. We're going to add him to our prayer list as well. But you don't need to pray for Jared's spirit because he has faith, hope, love, and just positivity in abundance. Jared has been to the mountaintop and the deepest valley, and he can't see life the same way again. I was talking to him a few times this week as I had asked permission to tell his story, and he was just overwhelmed with excitement that I would. And he told me, he said, Anna, make sure to tell them that I feel like I have been reborn. Now, Jared's not really even a Christian, but he's using this language. He's saying, I have been reborn. My life is not the same, and I can't go back. I am just full of love. And it's like the shining that Jesus experienced is like it's shining out of Jared right now, the love that he has within him. It's so positive that people are just coming out of the woodwork to be around him. Now, I haven't even really talked to Jared much in 17 years, but here I am talking to him all this week. There's something infectious about his positivity, about his love. He told me even Uber drivers have decided to stay with him. The Uber drivers take him to his treatments, but then they stay parked outside the hospital for no money, just waiting to pick him up so that they can take him home. He says, why are you doing that? And they tell him, we just can't get enough of you. You're so positive. I just want to be around you more. That's the transformation that Jared has experienced. That's who he is now because he has chosen to be changed by what he lived through. Now, friends, most of us, by the grace of God, are maybe not going to go through something quite that dramatic in our lives, but some of us will. But we've all had experiences that can be life-changing if we choose to make them so. If we choose to open our hearts and open our minds to the transformation that's possible when we truly live the power of life. Allow it to shape us. Allow it to change us. I'm going to leave you with a few words that Jared wrote himself. He started writing poems, and so this is his poem that he asked me to share with you today called Remission. And so these are Jared's words. Remission is a chance to sit back and ponder with a poem what happened and what will happen yonder. Recently, I've got new life for which I have gratitude. Positivity and joy are central to my attitude. Cancer really is not hell, it's just a thorny thicket. Resilience is most certainly my most golden ticket. to finding my inner strength, self-love, and worth as this chemo and stem cell treatments continue to go forth. 4 months ago, I thought I was likely a goner. Now I'm thriving with true dignity, real warmth, and my honor. Countless friends and family have shown up for me day after day. I'm so touched by how they all adore me. The changes going on in me have not been slight. I've taken on this battle with all of my might. The treatments are pretty easy for me, and the nurses are so kind. I know I am in the truly perfect state of mind. I am calm and collected, happy and free. Though it seems weird that with lymphoma to say, it's been great to me. But friends, it is, for once you've gone and faced death, you understand the preciousness of each and every breath. And each relationship and person, no matter who they are, even those I meet for minutes driving an Uber car, show me such compassion, affection, love, and grace. Despite current politics, I'm sure the human race will endure and prosper. In time, it may not be now, but so many people are showing me how to show up so willingly without even my request. These are my few initial thoughts about passing cancer's test. May it be so, and amen.